evening, folks, and welcome to Garbage Theater. Tonight's installment, Absolution. I'm your host, Chase, with my co-host, Blake and John.
Hooray!
Ugh.
Well, here we are in the after times.
Yeah.
Welcome to all of our non-raptured listeners.
We're all in purgatory right now, recording this. Of all fucking piles of shit to attach, this is going to bring about the end of the world to.
Well, we may have.
There was nothing special about this at all.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was like the most, just like boring by the numbers, like action crap.
Other than him using the word absolution a few times, it really had nothing to do with anything.
He's a bad man doing bad things to bad people in a bad movie.
Which is a bad way of saying what Wolverine does.
I'm just mad because it's October, and instead of spending my precious little time that I have with this great month watching scary movies, I had to watch this like cinematic floater.
Yeah.
Well, good thing Ryu was in it because he's the only one that really did any good fighting.
Yeah, for sure.
It almost felt like a Richard Harrison movie because Chi split off from Seagal for so long. It was like two separate movies.
It had the Asian people doing like decent stuff, and then bringing the old past his prime white guy to like be the hero.
I mean, I'm going to touch on it as we go through the movie, but did anyone else notice that if it wasn't a straight-on close-up shot, it was always a stunt double?
Yes, I even looked up the guy who was the stunt double.
Opening up the door to a car, walking upstairs, always the double.
If there's any dynamic movement, it's the double. Oh, you want me to sit right here and let this girl sit on my lap? No problem. You want me to walk to a nightclub? Who do you think I am, Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Bring in the double. I'll be in my trailer.
Good God. Ay. Okay, well, let's get going. Here we go.
Oh, I will also like to say that my questions, while perfectly legal in the way I asked them, they are damn near impossible.
Fantastic.
You son of a bitch.
I'm hoping for a double goose egg event.
You son of a bitch.
Like I even said, "Oh, I'll just put in one easy one." I was like, "No, there's nothing that says I have to put in an easy."
You have nothing to gain by putting in an easy one.
Yeah, it just has to be something that occurred on screen. Good luck, fellas.
God damn it! I'm so pissed.
Good luck,
I watched
John.
this thing like twice. I'm like trying to prepare over here.
Good luck, John.
There's no way you prepared for the things I've asked you, so it's just gonna be blind guesses. So if you actually get your questions and you beat me, you deserve it, and I'm rooting for you for the special month. Even though I said that's the exact opposite of what I wanted to happen.
All right,
you're a monster.
No, there's no fucking way though, John. No fucking way.
So, without further ado, here we go. We open up to what appears to be a woman being raped. Let's just start that off right here. It's some guy, and he's in his little gimp suit, and he's just beating a woman, not actually raping her.
Yeah. I wanted to say, well, it's not as bad as being raped, but no, he's still beating the shit out of her with a pipe.
Yeah.
So
a bloodstained camera captures it all before we cut to the man himself. He already sounding exhausted. First sentence of the movie. And he tells us that he's been a very bad man. He ate that whole box of Cookie Crisp.
He's so bad. He's fucking cheating on his diet.
I was so glad because I didn't look at a trailer for this. Like I didn't look at nothing for this movie, and I was so glad that I got raspy voiced Seagal. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as he talked, I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, I'm surprised that
this is. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that the subtitles didn't just put up incoherent mumbling anytime he spoke. I'm surprised the subtitles actually got what he was saying.
Well, considering he wrote the monologue and everything, he probably sent like copies of every word that he said.
Let me tell you something.
Whoever does closed captioning.
I don't believe any word he spoke was written down. This is just him just blathering. When he
this is genius overflowing onto camera.
We're gonna get to it. But when he tells that rambling fucking story about how he met Chi, good God.
No. He was like, yeah, just make some shit up.
They gave him.
You want to know what's really funny about that story about Chi? I wasn't paying attention to most of this movie, so I don't know if anything funny happened.
Oh
my God. This is my first modern era Seagal film.
Well, China Salesman, but he was only in that for 2 scenes.
Yeah, that doesn't really count. I didn't get the whole thing.
No, he did make somebody drink piss, but
yeah, I guess so.
He was,
but no, I'm with it. This is like
he was a leading man. He wasn't on screen most of the movie.
Exactly.
Sharing his worldviews and whatnot.
Fish are sentient.
His only worldview is like that he's great.
Yeah. And that's why he deserves to be hated.
Yeah.
My worldview is yellow because I wear these stupid range glasses everywhere.
So he goes on to say that he trusts no one and he lost his faith in mankind. And he wants to do one thing, just one good thing before he dies. He's going to finish that 64-ounce steak at the Sizzler and he's going to get that goddamn t-shirt.
Even if he dies in the process.
So we also get a bunch of intercut shots of Vinnie Jones, a.k.a. The Boss, who is actually...
Didn't even give him a name.
Everything is so fucking generic in this movie. He's the boss. He like leads the syndicate. It's like,
the boss of the syndicate.
So he's the one in the gimp mask beating said woman before to death. Seagal finishes some opening monologue saying that he needs to do this one thing for his own absolution.
You can't start a movie with a character that you don't know giving a monologue about like something real personal. It doesn't make any sense.
Apparently this is the third movie with this guy, though.
Oh yeah. It's the third movie with this guy, but in my hasty research right before we started recording this episode, I found out that the first 2 movies barely have anything to do with each other. He doesn't even have the same name in the first one.
Well, he's a spy.
He's using one of his alternate identities in that one.
All 3 movies have the same premise. He's some kind of hitman that's trying to put his dark past behind him and trying to absolve himself of his past sins. Every fucking movie.
Do you think in every James Bond movie he goes around introducing himself as James Bond? Oh, wait.
Oh, God. Okay, so cut to an office building where Seagal is brought in by this guy, Van Horn. And he's telling them that they have a situation. More unintelligible mumbling. He brings up a photo on screen of Kamal Wahidi, an Afghan national who's trying to get stealth technology from Pakistan. And Seagal asks Van Horn who hired him to hire him.
It sounds like a mistake, but it's true.
Why muddy the waters with this? Why? Surprise, surprise. Everybody guess who it is. Who's the man who hired him? Yeah, there you go. Fuck this movie.
Why does the guy who hired a guy to get who was hired to hire a guy get a name like Van Horn, but the boss of a local syndicate?
The local syndicate. It's farm to table syndication.
Yeah.
So Van Horn says that this person who hired him to hire him is a new player. He's very high up in their world. So Seagal warns him that, if you're just using me for political gain, I'm going to come back and kill you. Or so I think. That's what he said. I mean, he can't speak.
It is what he said.
He can't speak without shoving his fingers in his goddamn mouth.
Okay, I did take exception to this. You're a fucking mercenary. Of course they're using you for political gain.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Like, other than that, they don't need you.
Anytime he talks, he's always scrubbing his goatee with his hands. He's putting his fingers. It's like he's got muscle memory to be constantly eating.
It would be like contacting a caterer and saying, if you show up with food, I'm going to find you and kill you.
So Seagal says that he's going to check Kamal out. And if he's a really bad guy and really an enemy to the United States of America, and if he's really funding terrorist activity, and if he really has flaming hot Cheetos, I'll make him disappear.
If he's a really bad guy, not like I'm a bad guy that's done bad things, but if he's a bad guy that's done really bad things, then bad things will happen to that bad guy.
He speaks with the cadence of a 5-year-old.
He also there's no variance in urgency on anything that he says.
No.
He'll tell a guy he's gonna come back and kill him like he's telling his wife to get him a 6-pack.
You can't tell him.
I'll come back and kill you.
You can't tell a voluntary invalid to have urgency.
I early on have a note that I'm like, does Seagal have teeth?
We only can assume.
It's like I don't think I ever see his top teeth.
No, he's like Hellboy.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, what do you guys think of this red right hand?
I took out half of my teeth to give everyone a chance.
Well, yeah, I mean,
my hand's red because it's covered in barbecue sauce.
He never speaks louder than a mumble, so he never opens his mouth wide enough to see teeth.
Oh, Jesus.
So, cut to the Ukraine. Kamal is partying in some mansion with a couple of prostitutes and a load of blow. Seagal and his partner Chi stake out the joint outside. And some woman, Diana, arrives and comes in. And
Hold on. Point of order. Whenever she drives up, they say that she goes, 2 vehicles approaching. How many people are in the vehicles? The windows are blacked out. The windows weren't blacked out. You can see the drivers.
They were not blacked out.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were supposed to be good at this.
So, she says that her uncle is coming and he wants to meet with the boss. And Kamal, her cousin, is a pain in the ass apparently, and he's becoming too much of a risk. So the boss's goon, Colt, confronts Kamal and warns him that he's drawing a lot of attention to himself. And
That's Josh Barnett, by the way.
Okay, who?
Josh Barnett.
I don't know who that is.
The youngest UFC heavyweight ever.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
Never mind. Obviously, he's not young anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, good for him making the jump to film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's like a legit badass.
He's killing it now.
Yeah. So he also tells him that the Americans aren't happy with what he's doing and leaves. So Colt and Diana say that they should dip out of the mansion, and they leave as if they know that the guys are coming in.
Well, I think they do.
They kind of do, because But
wasn't it all like out of?
Because they were supposed to come in, yeah. Because the boss hires him, he's supposed to come in, kill Kamal, and then leave, and then done. But
this is all very convoluted.
It's very muddy, yeah. So, yeah, they leave. Seagal and Chi get ready to move in. Seagal puts a silencer on his gun, but Chi doesn't. So, what's the point?
Yeah. Like, why would they not both use them?
Well, Chi just decides to not use his gun at all.
Yeah, that's also true.
She's like, I thought there was 2 silencers in the back. I ate one.
Looked like a Tootsie Roll to me.
It's gonna be hell coming out the other end, Chi.
I had barbecue for lunch. I had to stuff it in my ass.
So they move in by just kind of running in plain sight across the yard.
Boy, howdy.
Like
just walked in the front door. Who gives a fuck?
There's a reverse shot of Diana like getting in the car ready to leave, and you just see them. It's like the floodlights are on. You just see two guys run across the yard.
To take a quote from Keenan Ivory Wayans, we have now entered the realm of high comedy.
And of course, like, they don't have any, you can't hear their footfalls at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
Silent as ninjas.
Yeah.
It's because of that silencer I ate.
He's out there clomping around. I put the silencer in my shoes.
That's how that works, right? So they split up. Chi comes across a room of guards all watching soccer. Meanwhile, Seagal blasts the head off of some guard in an elevator. Chi just kind of strolls into the guard's room, and
these poor guys are like watching soccer on a 12-inch fucking like vacuum tube TV. Like, they're guarding a mansion and they have the worst TV.
They bought that TV from that dude that hunts deer in Montana from that other movie we watched.
Oh, Bloodbeat.
Yeah.
You have to wear headphones to watch it.
So Chi walks in and hand to hand takes out the guards because he forgot a silencer. Seagal.
Yeah, so let me loudly beat the fuck out of all these people.
So Seagal comes in and he starts clearing rooms, doing his patented flipping his hand between grips thing.
Dude,
that he does.
He was not, like, the way he was pointing that gun was not even anywhere where he was looking.
He walks around holding this gun as if it was a cell phone and he's trying to get reception.
Yeah.
He's got it up almost over his head, 3 inches from his face.
But like he's trying, it's like he's got it whereas he's supposed to be looking down the sights, but it's off askew.
Yeah.
And it bothered me.
Everything he does.
It's like he was holding
me.
it too tight, I guess. I don't know. It was slipping in his butter-laden fingers.
Yeah. So some guards come in and gunfight breaks out. But Chi shows up to back him up and still, gunfight and all, decides to go unarmed and takes out more guards. They make their way into the pool room where Kamal and the women are. Kamal is very confused as to how this is all happening and that he should be protected from all of this. And Seagal asks him where his family got all of his money. And he tells him that he's becoming a liability. So Seagal tells him that, this isn't about you. It's about his bosses. Because remember, he was hired by someone who hired him. Kamal realizes that Seagal is the American. So Seagal puts one between his eyes. Seagal tells Chi to leave the girls as his stuntman does the strenuous task of walking back up the stairs.
I'm not gonna make it.
I wonder how they got him out of it.
They had to take out a wall.
I'm picturing like he just laid down in the pool that was down there and they got one of them things that they transport dolphins with. Just kind of hoisted him up with his arms hanging out the side.
Airlift. Yeah.
So outside, Chi preps some C4 and some plum brandy as accelerant. Do you need accelerant for C4?
Yeah, if that accelerant's electricity.
As the two slow-mo walk away from their van as it explodes.
They were doing these shots of them like getting out of the van. They were doing their feet, and like Chi's wearing these like cool boots. Seagal's wearing like Skechers orthopedic shoes.
I was about to say those round Skechers. Or formerly round Skechers. They've flattened out just from the weight.
Yeah.
This really helps my lower back.
I can sit all day in these.
When I walk the mall with the silver sneakers, it really helps. Who am I kidding? I don't walk the mall.
So So they walk off. They go back to the safe house. Van Horn Seagal calls Van Horn and tells him that he took care of Kamal. So what was the proof that he needed to kill Kamal? Because he kept saying like, "Oh, I'm going to check him out first to make sure." He just walked in the room and shot him in the head.
Well, there was he had a very thick file full of nothing but just photographs of Kamal.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't like the looks of this guy.
Yeah, I'm convinced.
Wait, there's hookers and blow in here. This guy's taking my thing.
There can be only one.
It's like the quickening, but for douchebags.
So he calls up Van Horn, tells him he took care of Kamal. Van Horn tells him that he can't get him out of there right now. The exit's been delayed, and they should just sit tight until he gets the all clear. So Seagal, and this is the other thing. Later on, Van Horn gets pissed off that Seagal and she didn't just kill the guy and leave. You're the one who told him not to leave, asshole.
Ah.
There's no reason for them not to leave. There never was a reason.
Think about all this.
So he's also talking about like Seagal's like we should just lie low by going out.
Yeah, let's go out. Let's go clubbing. Seagal tells Chi that let's head over to the Danube Club and have some drinks. Be ghosts, always ghosts, and then we'll leave right away.
Spooky, scary ghosts. All the time, ghosts.
And what country is this supposed to be?
It's the Ukraine.
Okay, so we're supposed to believe there's blues clubs in the Ukraine?
Blues clubs populated by only Americans?
I was about to say all English-speaking people.
Oh, man, you guys don't know about the Ukraine blues scene? It's crazy over there. Yeah. Ukrainians are nuts for blues.
Okay.
I'll buy into it for the sake of my immersion in this world. So
they just found out about blues.
So at the club,
no, I know why it's a blues club. Y'all know too, right?
Go ahead, do your job.
No, seriously, no, because Seagal he had all those blues albums.
Oh,
it's like self-promotion.
Oh, you want to talk about
like something at the end of the movie?
I was just gonna fucking say
I'm saving it.
You want to talk about self-promotion? Wait till the reveal at the end of the fucking movie.
I love this man.
Motherfucker. At the club, Seagal orders a big pile of scotch and cigars just for him. And he's instantly suspicious of several men in the club who turn out to be of no threat whatsoever.
That's just how he does, man. Yeah. He's identifying threats all the time.
I do bad things to bad men, and I'm extremely bad at it.
He has flashbacks of some woman who I have to assume is his wife that died or something. And
who gives a shit?
And I thought, well, maybe she was in one of the previous movies. Nope.
Oh, come on. Really?
Nope.
He got with her between number 2 and this one.
The first movie, what was it? Point of Execution, Order of Extraction, whatever the fuck it's called. It's him trying to live a quiet life as a handyman in like Prague or something.
Oh, so it's the same movie.
Yes. It sounds frighteningly close to a loose retelling of Yojimbo.
Why is everything Yojimbo?
Because it's him, and he moves into this apartment complex as a handyman where he lives with these two sisters, and then they get involved in between the Russian and the Chinese mob, and he has to move in and play them against each other to get them out.
Look,
it's fucking Yojimbo.
Yojimbo's great, but it seems like everything's fucking Yojimbo.
It's like Kurosawa did other stuff.
That poor bastard. He must be spinning around in that fucking grave. They did.
Remember when celebrated actor Toshiro Mifune ate an entire tray of hot wings on camera in real time?
See,
he should have got the Oscar that year.
Fucking Yojimbo. Like, okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Desert Heat was the best retelling of Yojimbo ever.
But
it's also shut y'all's mouths.
A fistful of dollars.
But also, made me forget what I was gonna say by saying something fucking so stupid. Damn it, never mind. It hurt my soul just to say that statement.
I'd rather see more like Rashomon ripoffs at this point, or Seven Samurai ripoffs. I don't know.
Seven Sundays. The dessert kind, not the day of the week. So
can you imagine? Oh my god. Okay, what about a movie where Seagal's cloned 7 times? He has to protect a town from, Eastern European gangsters.
How do we tell the difference between
He just happens to be 7 clones.
It's just 7 up. Well, he would never share screen with 6 other guys. He's like, okay, but only if I'm all 7 of them.
No, is he just exact copies of him, or are they all different personalities?
You can write him as different personalities, but he's going to play them all the same.
More like The Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy, where he's just playing 7 different people.
I was gonna say, what's that thing with Michael Keaton where he cloned
Multiplicity?
himself?
Multiplicity.
Yeah, and each one was dumber.
Yeah.
Well, shit, we're starting off pretty low with that.
Well, now we're getting somewhere. 7 Seagals, but each one's dumber than the next.
The first one that comes out is just drooling on his shoes.
And the second one says, finish your sentences.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Off the rails.
I love Seagal movies.
So, yeah, he has a flashback of some woman who has nothing to do with this trilogy at all.
How come in action movies, and I don't have any other examples off the top of my head, but every time there's a significant piece of jewelry, in this one she's got this butterfly necklace. It's always the ugliest piece of dog shit I've ever seen.
It was a dragonfly, just to make sure if it's a question it's scrubbed out.
Okay.
I would say probably because I guess that would be wardrobe or props that takes care of action movies. Isn't well versed in what pretty jewelry is.
I guess, man, but
it's all biker jackets and hair gel.
So what do you think Seagal's wife would like?
Frog button shirts.
Oh my god. Plowing ahead.
As far as what Seagal's wife would like, she'd like fucking air conditioning.
She'd like for those shackles to be loosened every once in a while.
Maybe some ground covering instead of walking around on dirt just to go up and stir a pot of stew that's always on an open flame no matter what time of day it is. Goddamn falcon crapping all over the place. This yurt stinks.
I hope people know what we're talking about.
Go back to what was it? Asian Connection?
I don't know. It was one of them. It was one of the previous Seagal movies where we broke down his relationship with his wife.
Yeah, it was Asian Connection. Ooh, perfect weapon. One of those.
So, anyway, Chi arrives just coming from a massage parlor where he's looking very happy with himself. Seagal goes out of his way to point out the obvious, that Chi got a happy ending. Yeah, we can read that subtext, you clod. You didn't need to explain it.
I was like, good thing he said it because I wasn't thinking it.
When Chi walks out of the massage parlor, looks back, smiles, as some hookers walking into it, I never would have put 2 and 2 together.
She just needed an adjustment after a hard day's work.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that 15 ruples the hard way.
In Soviet Russia, ruples make you hard way.
Yes.
So, Here it is. Here's where he launches into the origin story of his friendship with Chi. This meandering, clumsy-ass mess where he says that...
It starts with remember the time.
He basically says, remember that time when I was, walking around and I saw some guys and then there was this little girl and then these guys were going to kill the other guys and it was your boss. So I did some bad things to those guys and I knew that little girl was going to die in the process. So the guy I saved turned out to be some godfather in Hong Kong and he gave you to me as a gift. And that was 3 years ago. So why can't I get rid of your ass? What did the little girl have to do with anything?
The little girl never came back.
Why can't I quit you, Chi?
I have to assume he just let that little girl die in the process.
Oh, man, I guess.
That's why I know he wrote nothing down. That was just his mind just fluidly coming out. So Chi,
and then Chi for some reason, what was he said the women here are way better than what you can find in Hong Kong. I'm like, what happened to the women in Hong Kong?
They're all at the protest.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
Yeah, be careful. We don't want to incur the wrath of China. All those China dollars we got rolling in.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, shit.
So, Chief says over time, Seagal became his hang dai, or brother, and they toast, and Chi spots some strange at the bar and heads over.
Hell yeah.
Cut back.
Which was another perfectly English-speaking American lady in this Ukrainian blues bar.
So,
her name was even Jessica or something. It wasn't even exotic.
Yeah. So
it's an exotic Ukrainian name.
She also
Mishka or something.
She also has to explain what it means to be brothers. And it's the longest saying of all time. He has to have it written on 2 arms to get the whole thing in there. Say, when the knives come out, if you're my brother, I'll be there for you. Yeah. No words need to be spoken.
These 5 words I say to you. I will
when
be
he
there.
could have just said, shit goes down, I got your back.
Yeah. We walk together, we fight together, we eat together, we die together.
We eat together.
So, cut to John's basement where the boss is murdering some more girls.
Oh, shit, I gotta check on them.
One of them escapes and runs into the club that is adjacent to the murder basement, and some goons follow
Which is
her.
very poor planning.
Yeah. She slips into the ladies' room to lose them for a second and then dashes out into the street. It's revealed that she stole the camera that the boss uses to record his murders. She runs over to the Danube Club where Seagal and Chi are and screams for help. The men follow her in and grab her, and she falls to her knees and begs Seagal to help her. One of the goons grabs her away from Seagal, like, "Hey, why are you touching me, man?" And he snaps into action. At least when we're facing him, he's in action. All the reverse shots are the double.
Just the blind luck of falling into this putz's lap.
So he and Chi take out several of the goons in various uninteresting ways. They leave the club and split up, but the girl jumps in the car with Seagal. He tells her to leave, but she refuses to leave, and eventually he decides to help her and drives off. At the U.S. Embassy, Colt arrives from earlier, and he's informed that Kamal's dead and that 2 professionals have done the job. But now they're out their main supplier and need to find a new one, and he doesn't really care. Back at the safe house, Chi comes in, and he's not happy that Seagal brought this girl here. They're breaking protocol. And Seagal is planning to give her some cash and just cut her loose. But he's got a Russian friend that he can maybe help get them out of the country, so he calls him up. The girl comes out, tells Seagal that Seagal tells her, "You need to level with me and tell me everything that's going on." And she explains that she was brought to the Ukraine to take care of rich babies or some shit. But instead, she's been tortured by this boss for the time being, and she's been roped into human trafficking for the last 3 years. She says that the
3
boss...
years?
3 years is what she says. So, yeah.
Yeah, she says 3 years. She yells 3 years.
She screams it at him.
Exactly what 3 years refers to.
3 years being beaten in this basement, or just 3 years
because
of being...
Later, they show her and her sister going to the club, and it's like their first time, like they're naive about the whole thing. You've been there for 3 years.
Yeah. This isn't your first trick.
Well, for the last 2 years, they've treated us very well.
Well, there's orientation and...
Yeah.
Then they brought us to this nightclub, and we went behind the beaded curtains into the saw room.
She also tells him that the boss beat her sister to death with a pipe. And she says that Diana supplied her and her sister and 2 other girls. They were brought to John's basement where the boss was waiting to torture them. And we get a recap of everything we already fucking know. Again.
John's basement.
You guys wish my basement was that well lit.
So he tells her that he's a bad man. And he then goes through the entire opening monologue within the movie.
You have to hear it twice, people. You have to hear the whole twice.
Thing.
You absolutely have to hear my Absolution tale.
So he says that the one good thing that he wants to do is to find this boss and kill him. So she says that she can take him to where she hid the camera that has the boss's face on it so they can figure out who he is. Cut to the boss's place. Colt tells the boss that they hired the wrong team for the Afghani job. So this is where it's revealed that the boss hired Seagal and Chi to get this whole thing going. The boss calls Van Horn and tells him to take care of this problem, and he wants that girl back.
It seems like the boss has no problem killing people.
Yeah.
So why does he have to outsource it? Now that we know that what he does,
exactly.
Which is beat people to death with pipes.
Why couldn't he just have killed Kamal?
Yeah.
It's not clear. No. It's not clear why he couldn't just handle this in-house.
I don't remember this part in Yojimbo, so...
So Van Horn
shreds... This is more of a Sanjuro reference.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Van Horn shreds a photo of Seagal that I'm pretty sure is from Sniper Special Ops.
Yes! It has to be.
Yeah. I haven't even seen that shit, and I was like, oh, that's from another movie.
It was the first thing that popped in my mind, and since it was the first thing that popped in yours, then it is absolutely true.
So if that means that this trilogy is connected to Sniper, and Sniper's connected to China Salesman, then this is connected to China Salesman, and this is much bigger than just a trilogy.
Oh my god. The Seagal cinematic universe.
So that's what Universal should have done. Screw the Mummy.
They could just keep the name The Dark Trilogy or whatever. Dark Universe.
The Dark Chocolate Universe.
So Van Horn calls Seagal and he tells him that the men that hired him to hire them wants the girl back. Seagal says, well, just buy me some time so I can figure out how to get us out of here. Van Horn then calls up the boss and gives up the address of where Seagal is. Colt sends some men to the safe house to take out Seagal and Chi. Seagal's Russian friend Sergei shows up to help them get away. Chi and Sergei go off, and this is where the movie becomes a Godfrey Ho mess. Chi and Sergei go off, and they jump some random guy outside a building and start questioning him, and he tells them that the building is a human trafficking ring, and it's being run by the Syndicate. Nice and generic.
Mm-hmm.
Back at the safe house, the girl Nadia tells Seagal that she's cold and she hasn't eaten in days, a feeling Seagal cannot relate to in the slightest.
I don't even know what you're saying to me.
He tells her to stay here. He'll go out and get some food and clothes for her. Meanwhile, Chi and Sergei compare the dangers of the Ukraine to Hong Kong. It's a little it's a little Pulp Fiction scene we get of them two bantering in the car.
It's a weird dick measuring contest. You even talk about shitty countries. You should see mine.
So Seagal returns with the food. or at least what's left with it. The fries didn't make it home.
She's like, where are my fries? They must have forgot them.
He finds that Nadia's missing, flashes back to his wife dying of cancer or some crap that doesn't matter, and he snaps out of it when he hears
he has the same face on the whole time. The doctor's like, yeah, your wife, she's not gonna make it. And he's like, you're gonna eat that? Your wife?
So, he hears Nadia struggling upstairs. He kills 3 men attempting to abduct Nadia, and one of them stock screams as he falls down the stairwell.
It was so loud, too.
Yeah, it's
like
way
the
off.
Fakest, worst stock scream ever.
Meanwhile, Chi and Sergei in another movie follow the girl that Chi was flirting with at the club earlier, and she's with some John, and they question her about the men that they fought earlier. She tells them that they were taken to St. Andrew's Hospital, so they go there, they arrive, and they see the men leaving. Sergei pegs them as diplomatic security, and the goons head out, and Chi and Sergei follow. Word gets back to Colt that the team they sent to Nadia didn't come back. Next day, the goons arrive at the safe house, for some reason thinking that they're still going to be there. Wouldn't you jet the safe house if you got attacked at the safe house? It's no longer a safe house. So
now they know that I know that they know that I know.
God. So Seagal's waiting for him, though. He calls him on the phone that he's planted in there, and it sets off the hidden seafloor and blows them into hell. Seagal
That's a pretty good stunt right here, though.
Yeah, this guy comes flying out the window, crashes into the car.
On fire. Yeah, falls on a car. It's pretty decent. Best part of the movie.
Yeah.
By far.
So Seagal and Nadia head out to go to where she hid the camera. Meanwhile, Chi and Sergei stake out some more goons. Chi breaks into the room where they are.
Wait, for some reason, I should have said it like 2 seconds sooner, but it'd have been so much better if he would have caused the explosion in the apartment by like lowering like a turkey into a fryer thing. and then the whole thing just blew up after.
That's his demolitions expertise. Burning down multiple homes, frying turkeys.
And he could make some kind of stuffing pun or something, and then that'd be it.
So Chi and Sergei break into this room where the goons are, and Chi karates the 2 men to the ground. He gets answers from them, wielding scalding hot water from the stove. But the only answers that he gets is that they work for the boss. So great. Oh, God. He then kills the 2 of them.
At least he waits to get the information before he kills them, unlike Richard Harrison.
Who sent you? Stabs him in the face. So Sergei finds out that the boss is the head of the syndicate. We're closing in on this caper, Nancy Drew.
We're getting there.
So they head to Club 1 to meet with Seagal because that's where the base of operations for the syndicate is, and it also happens to be where Nadia hid the camera. Not a great place to hide the evidence at the base of operations. Van Horn arrives at the boss's place and gets payment from Colt for something that he did. I don't know. Seagal and Nadia arrive at the club and head in through the back. Inside, the club's in full swing as it's a 24-hour club. And Seagal gets a load of all the scantily clad women dancing on the stage and starts cracking his groping knuckles. Nadia heads into the women's room where she hid the camera. Chi and Sergei arrive, head in. More goons arrive, they head in. Nadia gives the camera to Seagal, they try to leave, but the goons spot them, and the slap fight begins. Seagal and Nadia manage to escape after Seagal pushes some guys around, or his stunt double pushes some guys around. But Sergei gets gunned down in the process. Chi finishes off the last man that killed Sergei and heads out himself. But one of the goons spots him and runs him over with his car, and they take him captive as Seagal and Nadia look
I thought was hilarious. Because I was not expecting that.
Like, how does he not look both ways?
It's
He's
such
like an adult and everything.
It's such an inelegant way of getting this guy. He just runs him over with a car. So Seagal and Nadia see him take his friend, so I guess he's going to have to do some more bad things. They take Chi back to okay, and I'm confused. Is the boss's place the same building as where they killed Kamal?
Yes.
That's a mess.
Because they go back to the same room.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, because so the boss has his like library with his desk in it and everything, and I don't know if that's the same house.
No.
That they killed Kamal in.
The main mansion that they use over and over has that fountain out front, and it seems like it's the only mansion this syndicate has.
Well, they do go back to that same room, though.
Yes. Yeah, because that's where they take Chi. They take Chi into the pool room. The pool's been drained. They put him in the pool, and they start beating him.
I got so mad when they went back to the house again. Like, they just keep going back to the same 3 locations.
Mm-hmm. The safe house, the club, this place.
I've made plenty of movies. Let me show you how to save some money.
You only need 3 locations.
So Van Horn takes a picture of them, takes a video of them beating up Chi and calls Seagal. Seagal knows that Van Horn was the one that ratted him out, and Van Horn says, Seagal, you were just supposed to take out Kamal and leave, but now you know too much. I don't think anyone knows anything. What's to know? It's the syndicate and the fucking boss.
You knew who the boss is. The boss.
So he gives Nadia a gun and heads out on his lonesome. They continue to beat Chi when Seagal slips in, again fumbling his gun around like a jackass. He takes out a guard or two, and which puts the rest of the bad guys on alert. Chi manages to trip the man beating him, and luckily he rolls into Chi's open legs for the chokeout.
Yeah.
He really did just roll in there.
He gets the man's knife, cuts himself free. Nadia spots Diana patrolling around outside of the building and hides. She pistol whips her to the ground and shoots her. It's like they just needed to give her something to do.
Oh, they really did. Like, there's no good reason for Diana to come outside.
Yeah. So,
she comes out through like some kind of drainage hole or something. Like, where'd she come out of?
That choke with the legs too wouldn't have worked, because now that I do have a little bit of something behind me, because the way he had his legs around the guy's neck, there was nothing else. He would have had to have his hands to pull his head down, because he didn't have an arm in. It was just his legs around the guy's neck, and there was no way he could have strangled him like that.
Well, there you go.
Unless he had thighs like Steven Seagal.
Or, he just sat on him like Seagal does. So,
damn it.
So after Nadia kills Diana, she heads into the building, completely ignoring Seagal's instructions.
Yeah, she drops her gun too. She shoots this lady and drops the gun.
This thing's icky.
And then goes inside, where the danger is.
Yeah. So everyone's stalking around the building for a while when Chi gets the drop on Van Horn. They fight back and forth until one of the goons shoots Chi. Seagal makes his way up to where they are and rushes in just before Van Horn can kill Chi, whips out a Bowie knife out of nowhere and slits Van Horn's throat.
I didn't even know where this thing came from. Like, there was an insert shot of a Bowie knife coming out of somewhere, and then I was like, whose is that?
He just had it in one of his folds.
It came out of fold B.
So,
his fold classification system is weird. I wouldn't put B down there, but that's just me.
I may be fat and unkempt, but I'm definitely organized.
So they take Van Horn's phone off of him and call up the boss. He arranges a meet back at the club.
Back at the club again.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not going far.
Yeah. Well, I'm already over here. You want to just meet me here? I mean, we can do that. You already know where this place is at.
All these 3 places are on the same street. I mean, Seagal gives Nadia money and tells her to go start a new life somewhere. But she's in love with this walking mound of fried dough, as improbable as that is.
How could she not be? Look at all this gooey perfection.
So he
This
tells
was so
Chi
hard
and
to
Nadia. Yeah, she walks up to him and he plants that toothless maw on her face.
But he puts his hand like on the back of her head too, like
Yeah.
pulls her in. It just really didn't feel consensual to me. Like,
He's like,
oh man,
like being kissed by
Ladies
one of
love it. Ladies love when you take your big boudin fingers and put them on back their head and force them into your mouth.
like one of those fish that suck the algae off the tanks.
it was like about 5 minutes after this scene went down, I realized that I hadn't stopped making the face that I had made when I first saw it. I was just like holding this face for a really long time. It was so gross.
Oh. What do you think that mouth smells like?
Oh.
It smells like falcon.
Roasted goat.
So, he tells Chi and Nadia that he's going to go back to the club for the final showdown. He tells them to hang back because Chi's been beat to hell. He walks in to find the boss and Colt alone on the stage. Seagal gives the boss his camera as some more goons come in and he orders Colt to kill him, but Chi's sneaking around in the shadows and he jumps in. Chi and Colt rumble for a while as Seagal beats the crap out of this used car salesman looking motherfucker.
Yeah, who is this dude? He just showed up and apparently he's pretty important.
Yeah. And he beats the living fuck out of this. Do they do a callback to the Under Siege arm break?
Yes.
I thought
Yes.
so.
There must have been several callbacks in this because, like, the last fight between him and Vinnie Jones had some Glimmerman shit in it, like straight up Glimmerman.
Yeah,
shit.
That's true. Now that you say that, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, he gets this poor middle-aged bastard's arm in a lock and snaps it at the wrist.
The credits say his name was Underboss of the local syndicate.
So after that, the boss pulls out a gun and engages Seagal in another gunfight. Chi's struggling with Colt until he gets a drop kick on him, which sends Colt into the edge of the stage, which breaks his back and kills him.
But also pools blood underneath him.
Computer blood.
Blood.
It severed him in half, I guess.
He also kind of made a weird noise when his back hit. Like, for Josh Barnett to get his back hit and go, seemed kind of weird.
So Seagal and the boss go hand to hand, and the boss never really stands a chance. And I have a hard time believing that Vinnie Jones wouldn't beat the hell out of this fat bastard.
Yeah, so that's thing number one that I recall from Glimmerman is he doesn't get touched at all.
Yeah, he just
it's in his
owns him.
contract that he can't get touched.
Yeah, just demolishes him to the point that the boss is on his hands and knees begging for mercy. And then Seagal kicks him off the balcony and impales him on a rope barricade pole.
Which that happened in Glimmerman.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so
We need to make sure that Aikido is always in a positive light.
we have to make sure that we do everything for the first time in this movie.
This has to be stuff that I've never done before and that the audience has never seen.
This is the greatest idea I've ever had. I'm so glad this is the first time we're doing it.
It's so good. Jesus is going to come down and be like, I've got to see this shit.
He's going to be like...
Have I ever told y'all that fish are specimens?
So, Seagal shakes hands with Chi, and they part ways forever. Seagal, in voiceover, tells us that this was his last job that he's ever going to do for anyone, and he's going to go off to New York to start a new beginning. Hard cut to an oil painting of him holding a guitar, sweet fucking Jesus.
Okay, they did not make this for that movie. That had to come from his house.
Yes. This is his house, more than likely.
Could be. But there's no way they commissioned an oil painting for this movie.
I was like, if they make this out to be like him in his singer persona is him going straight for being a mercenary, fuck you.
I tell you what, though, a thought did just cross my mind. We need to hope that his career keeps going on this trajectory, because when he dies, I'm buying that picture at auction. Can you imagine having that in your living room?
It'd be quite the conversation piece, that's for sure.
And here is the oil painting that was commissioned for the hit movie Absolution. Luckily, it didn't bring about the second coming of Jesus Christ.
The Pope was correct in his assumption of, this is the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
The Pope was quoted as saying, "Fuck you."
So Nadia's there, and she puts on a record and slinks over to this old sack of shit on the couch.
Okay, for one, you can tell that she's really not comfortable with this.
Yes.
And two, you can tell that he's really not comfortable with this. It's as if he's never seen a girl before.
Well, they're filming this at his house. His wife's chained up in the room next door.
No, she's back in Mongolia. He's safe there.
And then seeing this scene and how uncomfortable they both are recontextualized the earlier scene for me again and made it grosser.
Because he was so stiff. It was like, okay, like we've all been there. Like, you know, you're young and it's the first time you're like touching a woman. You know, you're not fucking Rico Suave. But this is an old man, and we know we've done it before. I've seen the lawsuits.
But they do not kiss again. The only kiss they get is this one where it looked like he forced her to.
Yeah.
Oh, she said, "I'm out."
Yeah, she was like,
not
nope,
happening.
Yeah.
Nope, that's
I'm
not
not even
happening
convinced
again.
that was the same chick because you don't see her face when she's sitting on his lap.
You got a stunt woman in.
Yeah.
Her kiss double.
She was like, "I still have boudin casing in my hair, and I can't get it out. You getting somebody else?"
I can't get the smell of Burger King chicken fries off of my face.
Spicy nugs are back.
Oh, and I mean,
Can't wait to eat those motherfuckers.
and you know, we're kidding around and all, but even in the context of the movie, he was married before. This isn't new to him, unless he married her as she was dying of cancer.
Maybe.
Oh my God. So, yeah, that couch thing happens. And we find out that Chi hung back in the Ukraine for those world famous Ukrainian happy endings.
Yeah. It's the only
The
reason
same
they stay
place,
behind
too.
is for Ukrainian HJs.
In that same little crappy massage parlor. The end. Shit.
Chi gets the final frames of the movie. Where you just have to think about him just getting hand jobs for the rest of his life.
He just got cranked off, and that's the last thing that were left.
This whole movie was about stopping human trafficking. And he went to a Chinese massage parlor and got a hand job at the end.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
The name
It's
of
called
the movie,
ironing.
the name of the movie is Absolution. They're down there doing like the sign of the cross over his dick or whatever. Oh, man.
If anything that's going to make Jesus Christ perk up, it's Ukrainian hand jobs.
Yeah.
Take this, all of you, and drink from it. Maybe we are in purgatory with all the unbaptized babies.
It's one of Jesus' famous miracles, you know, where he turned massages into hand jobs.
Oh, damn it.
All right. So,
Well, it was another successful Seagal movie.
yep. Absolution. Another one in the bag.
Man.
Can I just point out that that me and John have the class to not pick our weapon movies just normally?
I didn't see that in the rule book. I'm just trying to have fun, damn it.
Oh my god. All right. Well, that's that. Let's get to the really interesting part of this episode.
Sorry. These LaCroix, man. Jesus.
So, the current standings as we close into the final quiz of the season. I'm in first with 12 points. Blake's right behind me with 11. John's right behind him with 10. It's only me and John can put points on the board, so I'm locked into Shark Month. But can John pull out the impossible and get 2 questions right to eke Blake out? I don't know.
If he does, he deserves it.
All right.
Do you have tiebreakers ready just in case he manages to get lucky with one?
You mean tiebreakers for who?
Oh shit, we didn't think of that.
Yeah,
it's gotta be.
Yeah, I got plenty of tiebreakers I can ask. I'll get them all right.
Fuck. Well,
we'll settle it in the finale.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out for the finale if that happens.
It's not going to happen.
Watch it happen.
It could. Okay. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question 1. How many times does Seagal stroke his beard?
Get the fuck out of here.
That's guessable.
It is. All of them are going to be guessable.
Is it? Yeah, it's just, could be one of any number.
Sure. You're exactly right. I'm glad you're playing the game. All right. Question 2. How many hookahs are in the room where Chi is being beaten?
Fantastic.
Question 3. In the room where Seagal slits Van Horn's throat, how many lights are in the wall sconces?
Wait, total or just per sconce?
Total.
Shit.
What alarm system is on the Jeep Grand Cherokee? And the last one, how many cars are parked outside St. Andrew's Hospital? Everybody got their guesses in?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess so.
Question 1, how many times does he stroke his beard?
18.
I said 5.
It was 5.
I am a god.
Dude, you guessed so good. What was the next one? Oh, how many hookahs are in the room where Chi is being beaten?
2.
John's so pissed right now. 7.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be pissed because it was 2.
All right.
Son of a bitch. God damn it. All right, how many lights are in the wall sconces?
5?
6.
12.
Ooh.
Okay.
What alarm system's on a Jeep Grand Cherokee?
Alarm system.
Low jack?
It was Viper.
Okay.
It was on the window. Come on, fellas. And how many cars are parked out St. Andrew's Hospital?
3.
I also said 3.
It was 2.
Oh.
God damn it, we're tied.
You're tied.
Son of a bitch. I should have went with the other one. I shouldn't have asked the stupid hookah question. Would you have gotten this? What scientific instrument is in Seagal's house before it blows up?
A Bunsen burner?
A microscope?
It was a telescope. That's what I should have fucking asked.
Telescope.
God damn it.
Well, in lighter news, I locked first place for the season.
I really wanted it. I really wanted it.
So now we got a conundrum. So I guess I need to figure out some kind of a tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's what you get paid the big bucks for.
That's what I get paid those big Chinese dollars for.
You know what you do? You pick any movie throughout this whole season. Come up with 3 questions and ask us at the finale. Don't even tell us what movie. That's what you do.
All right, I can do that.
You probably already have extra questions from a movie you did. So tell you what, it could be any movie in just ask any questions.
I can do that.
There you go.
Any movie. Any movie at all.
No, not any movie. Any movie we watched this season.
I can do that. That's no problem.
What a nightmare.
Oh, man. Wow. The impossible happened.
I know, son of a bitch, I'm pissed off.
It's not over yet.
Well, I'm pissed off because of the ridiculous questions. Like counting the number of times he's stroked his beard.
But you got one.
I know, but still, I should have gotten more.
You could have just lost outright.
I know, you could be like just out of it at this point.
Fair enough.
And I could be hoping that my Seagal theme would be played, but now sadly it looks like it won't be.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think of something I could do right now. I'm trying to think
play
of
play the fucking Mexican bean music and maybe you come back to something.
So, I couldn't find anything. So, we're just going to do this in the finale and figure out which one of these two is going to join me in competition for Shark Month 2019. So
the drama.
Mm-hmm. So next episode will be the finale special, where we'll have a lot of fun hijinks in store. We'll do our worst of lists and awards and whatnot for the season. So no movie pick, no coming attractions yet. We'll do that next time. So without further ado, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to us this season. It was a doozy.
It always is.
Yeah.
If you can, drop us a review on iTunes. We would very much appreciate that. You can find us online at facebook.com/Garbage Theater and on Instagram at Garbage_Theater. If you want to suggest a movie to us, we just wrapped up a season. We're going to be starting a new one in 4 more episodes. So do some research, send them to us. We will watch them. You can send that to us at any of our social media channels or directly to us at garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com.
I'm so mad.
I'm so glad I get to sleep soundly tonight.
Yeah.
I will lose no sleep, but I'm pissed.
Another notch in my belt.
Well, good.
I came up with a bulletproof plan. I came up with a bulletproof cop, a RoboCop, if you will, but I left his mouth uncut.
Oh,
I thought honestly that all of your questions were going to be about the different license plates. Like,
No, I knew.
like
Look,
every single, you could see all of the license plates.
as soon as I saw that the license plates were so prominent, I was like, let them think it.
yeah.
Let them go after the license plate.
I only really noted one.
I had no clue which direction I was going to go until the first 2 minutes when he stroked his beard. I was like, oh, that's going to be a question.
I took 0 notes of things that I thought would be questions. I did not care. If I came in second place, who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I was perfectly fine with just the playoff berth. So
Right.
it was the most enjoyable movie watching I've had in a long time. I just didn't care at all.
All right.
God. All right. So that wraps up Absolution and wraps up Season 5 of Garbage Theater. We will see you next time for the Season 5 finale special. See you then, folks.